symbolizing the fact that members of our profession of arms are missing from our midst. They are commonly called POWs or MIAs. We call them brothers and sisters. They are unable to be with us this evening, and so we remember them. This table, except for one, is small, symbolizing the frailty of one prisoner alone against his oppressors. The tablecloth is white, symbolizing the purity of their intentions to respond to the country's call to arms. The single red rose, displayed in a vase, reminds us of the families and loved ones of our comrades in arms who keep the faith awaiting their return. The red ribbon, tied so prominently on the vase, is reminiscent of the red ribbon worn upon the lapel and breasts of thousands who bear witness to their unyielding determination to demand a proper accounting for our missing. The candle. The candle is lit, symbolizing the upward reach of their unconquerable spirit. A slice of lemon is on the bread plate to remind us of their bitter fate. There is salt upon the bread plate, symbolic of the family's tears as they wait. The glass is inverted. You cannot toast with us this night. The chair is empty. They are not here. All of you who served with them and called them comrades, who depended upon their might and aid and relied upon them, for surely they have not forsaken you. Remember, until the day we come home, remember.
We're very fortunate here in Lakewood to have built an outstanding relationship with Colonel Maselli and his soldiers. And it's my privilege on behalf of the City Council to provide them with our proclamation in honor of Veterans Day today. Whereas members of the Army, Air Force, Navy, Marines, Coast Guard, and Merchant Marine have answered a high calling to serve and have helped secure America at every turn. And whereas Americans veterans answered the call when asked to protect our nation from some of the most brutal and ruthless tyrants, terrorists, and militaries the world has ever known. And our veterans stood tall in the face of grave danger and established our nation to become the greatest force for freedom. And whereas our country is forever indebted to our veterans for their courage and exemplary service, and honor those who laid down their lives in freedom's defense and made the ultimate sacrifice for our benefit. And whereas on Veterans Day, we salute the men and women who have proudly worn the uniform of the United States of America and the families who have served alongside them. And we affirm our sacred duty as citizens to express our enduring gratitude, both in words and actions, for their service. And whereas these brave men and women and their selfless sacrifices continue to inspire us today as we work to advance peace and extend freedom around the world. And whereas, as many face overwhelming unknowns, through community collaborations we can ensure that those who have served their nation receive the resources they deserve. And whereas their abiding patriotism and enduring devotion to the ideals on which the United States is founded provides a source of permanent inspiration to ensure our unwavering support as a community. And whereas through their commitment to freedom, Americans veterans have positively impacted millions of lives and made our country and the world more secure. And the City of Lakewood resolves that their sacrifices will always be remembered. Now, therefore, the Lakewood City Council hereby proclaims November 11, 2018 as Veterans Day in the month of November 2018 as Veterans Appreciation Month in the City of Lakewood, and encourages all citizens to recognize the valor and sacrifice of our veterans and to actively support our local veterans and their family members. Proclaim this 5th day of November 2018, Don Anderson, Mayor. Colonel Maselli, would you like to say some words?
I'm truly honored to accept this Veterans Day proclamation from our community connector city of Lakewood. Thank you for remembering and honoring America's veterans. Our veterans' loyalty to our country and their courage makes our nation what it is today. The land of the free and home of the brave, a beacon of hope in an increasingly complex world. Mr. Mayor, again, I appreciate our partnership and Lakewood's continued support and commitment to all who have served, including the Lancer Brigade, and are continuing to serve or will plan to serve our country in the future.
Thank you. Whereas the South Sound Military Community Partnership commissioned a study in 2018 by the University of Washington Tacoma's Center for Business Analytics of the economic impact of Joint Base Lewis-McChord, and whereas the result of the completed economic analysis demonstrated that the economic impact from Joint Base Lewis-McChord provides more than $9 billion in annual benefit to Pierce County and the South Puget Sound region, and whereas directly employing 55,000 active duty service members and Department of Defense civilians, Joint Base Lewis-McChord is the largest employer in Pierce County and the second largest in the state. And whereas 45,000 military dependents and 32,000 retirees, with those people, Joint Base Lewis-McChord directly serves a population of over 120,000 people. And whereas the industrial businesses located throughout Pierce County and the Deepwater Port of Tacoma serve a critical role in the transportation of military supplies and support of military readiness and base operations. And whereas Joint Base Lewis-McChord serves as a strategic location for the defense of the nation, allowing the military to quickly respond and deploy to situations around the world. And whereas Joint Base Lewis-McChord is an integral part of the fabric of the South Puget Sound area and state economies, both supported by and supporting hundreds of private businesses. Now therefore be it resolved that the City of Lakewood Council does hereby acknowledge the economic impact of $9 billion by the presence of Joint Base Lewis-McChord and the mutually beneficial partnership between the city and the base. Proclaim this 5th day of November 2018. Don Anderson, Mayor. Dr. Lucas?
So thanks, Mayor Anderson, for this proclamation and certainly the work together. It's really an honor to be here tonight to acknowledge the value of JBLM, but really also it's my honor to be here representing all those folks that you just referenced on JBLM to say thank you, because it isn't just what's inside the gates that makes JBLM so special or so powerful. It's really the partnership with our neighbors, and Lakewood being our biggest neighbor and one of our most important neighbors. It's those partnerships that really solidify the value and the importance of the JBLM as that power projection platform we talked about, and the access that this area provides to the importance of our mission. So it's really great to be here on your Veterans Day celebration as well, because it's always a time of year that's kind of near and dear to all of our hearts. And to see so many of you that have been in uniform in the past, and just the friendship and support of Lakewood to all of our JBLM residents is something that's really special to all of us. So again, the work that went into producing this information about JBLM was, it's almost, when we go back and talk to IMCOM and DOD about it, it's really innovative. And so it's so great that we're doing yet another innovative thing here at JBLM and in the South Sound region. So thanks.
Thanks again.
Yeah.
Thank you.